You're listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
We are back. Welcome back, you maniacs, to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast, the only one that brings the firehouse, kitchen table, and everything that goes with it to you. Self-proclaimed best podcast, maybe in the whole world. Just throwing that out there. Maybe.
Probably better than Joe Rogan.
He ain't lying.
Yeah, maybe. Someday. Hopefully. We don't know. Welcome back. Cold up there, Roof? It's got to be cold by you.
A little chilly.
You got snow?
Oh, of course.
You finally turned the heat on? Oh, no.
I got the fire going. Listen, I'm paycheck to paycheck, bro.
Listen, I hear what you're saying, bro. Fixed income, paycheck to paycheck. I get it.
You got Rosie up there to keep you warm. I finally got to see her.
She's like the sun.
Not on.
Well, we had a great time. We went out with Rob Procaccini, Mrs.
Procaccini's husband. Yep.
We went out with the little guy, Jason Cologne, 21 Truck Tillman, because I know why that, because he's 21 inches tall. So that's why he's 21 Truck Tillman. With his old lady, Raffaella, who was sweet too.
She was very nice. You know what we were going to call him? Leave me alone, Cologne. You know why?
Because he sat in the corner and
sat in the corner the whole night. Didn't talk to anybody.
I'm actually here with them. It's unbelievable.
It was too loud. He said, "Maybe we'll go to a place that's a little quiet next time." All right.
More intimate. He needs intimacy.
I know another guy who's a little too loud for.
It was a little loud
for that guy down there. Dun, 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 that guy. Yep. But we had a good time, all in all.
Yeah, man.
No, it was a good time. Always good to hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the
Procaccini's old lady is hot, no doubt.
Wow.
Smoking. Yep.
Yeah.
But overall, and my twin sister came out with us. A little ex. Yep.
Speaking of hot, I'm sorry.
My ex-girlfriend.
Oh. Yep. He ain't lying. Oh, he ain't lying. He ain't lying.
He's a good-looking lady.
It could have been brother-in-law. Imagine that.
I actually sat next to your brother-in-law the whole night, who's a great dude.
Really awesome guy.
One of the best, man.
Wonderful.
Hey, man, let's tell everybody a little bit about what's going on, before.
Yeah, we all know this was a tough week. It's a very tough week for first responders. We know about all the line of duties. We will get to that at the end, so please hold your request for the 5 bells. I do see it. I know it's coming. But we want to give our guest tonight, just like every other guest, his chance to talk about his great career. Actually, we have a guy who's still active. That's a surprise. We usually don't get those guys, but we got a guy today from a very busy place.
He looks really old.
He just looks old. Yep. But
it's just we really understand where you guys are coming from. Everyone wants us to show love to the service, and we will tonight. Obviously, we're very much into.
Rock's in my yard younger than him, actually.
Oh, the guy with the mustache? He looks a little bit like a cross between Hulk Hogan and Mike Dugan. I was going to give him let me tell you something, brother, when I got on there. But
let me tell you something mean, Gene.
They call him Skull, so he could probably kick your ass, I think.
Yeah, I got to ask him how he got that name, Skull. Maybe he busted a few skulls.
To carry the name Skull in the fire department, right? I mean, if you carry that, you have to be badass.
You got to be a badass guy.
He also has a shiny dome. You know what I mean?
Fuck, Skull. There goes Skull.
There goes fucking Skull. Don't look at him sideways.
He'll fuck you up, man.
No, I heard he fucking wrapped someone's head in with a fucking Halligan.
Yeah. One time I seen the Skull in a bar. He had like 5 guys on him. He showed him through the window.
Oh my God! He threw him through 5 row houses at once.
He could probably be. It looks like cheese. Like he could just grab you and just before you
know it, gobble you up.
You're tapping. Yeah, you're tapping out.
I'll tell you what, though, Cheese, man. He not only is he strong, he's got the skill set, man. That boy put some heat on you, man. He grabbed my elbow. I still feel it. I can't move my arm.
All right, listen, Pete. Why don't we do a little commercial before we do anything else?
Correctamundo, guys. And as you guys know, we only have the finest sponsors in the fire service on this show. And tonight, we have our great sponsor, Chief 360. Are your responders slowed down using outdated or unreliable technology? Chief 360 enhances operation with technology products that reduce response times and increase situational awareness. Chief 360 Station Alert is the most affordable and reliable alerting system on the market. Designed with health and cardiac wellness in mind, it uses escalating tones to alert and wake up responders. The system also uses both CAD and tone dispatching to ensure rapid, reliable alerting. Chief 360 Mobile offers an easy-to-use interface to get responders fast and accurate dispatching into the palm of their hands. When every second counts, rely on Chief 360. Check them out now at chief360.com. Again, that is chief360.com.
Great job. Wonderful.
Nice,
awesome.
Nice. And
tell about the super chat, bro.
Yes, of course. Well, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, you guys are our number one sponsors, and the best way you can help us out is to hit us up in the super chat tonight. If you guys have a question that you absolutely have to have answered, or if you just feel like throwing us a few shekels, it doesn't matter. It could be $1, it could be $2 or more. Anything is helpful to us, and we appreciate all super chats. So guys, if you're feeling generous, or if you absolutely have to get your question ahead of the line, hit us up in the super chat, and we love and appreciate you guys for that. Thank you very much. Our number one sponsors, our audience. Thank you.
Excellent. Yep. So we took down Procaccini and 21 Truck till we took him down into the power plant, if you will, where it all takes place, the podcast studio. And only me and the little guy were able to stand up straight in here because
it's like this big. It's this big.
He ain't lying.
He ain't lying. Nah, girl.
If I hit my head on those beams one more time, I might.
I never do. Never happens for me, kid.
the advantage of your height advantage. You know what? Before we get moving,
let's get patriotic.
We absolutely need to get patriotic, guys, and stand by. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yep. Good job.
Amen.
Yes, Steve, Pee Wee. Yes, I mean the Bat Cave. We let them in here, bro. We showed them the works. Showed it to them. Yep.
Thanks, Luke.
All right. Thanks,
all right.
Luke. Well, Luke hit us up already. He's all right, that Luke.
Oh, I have to go take a look at that in a minute.
Come
I
on,
just
Pete,
have all the stuff prepped, because we have this guy.
We got a great guy coming in. The Skull. It's a very scary. That mustache is very scary. I got to tell you that much.
He's like Hydra, the Red Skull. What's his name? The Skull.
The Red Skull.
Bring the guy in.
The Avengers.
All right. Yeah. Without
all
the way.
Listen. Yes, sir. LT.
Let me tell you that. Let me give you a little setup. When me and Ruffy started going to the show, right down in Harrisburg. Oh, you're right in the immediate area there by the farm complex. You drive to where the restaurants. You get lost and you take a wrong turn and you're winding around going, "Where the fuck are we, bro?" It's like seems like it's like Harlem back in the 1960s. Yeah. So they do some work down there. And we got a guy. A hard charger. We got a salty dog. Wait till you see this old salty bird. Bring the Skull in, Pete. Bring him in. The Skull.
Here comes the Skull.
Woo! Hello, man. Hello. Thank you.
And your proper name, Jeff Miller, ladies and gentlemen, from the Harrisburg Fire Department.
Jeff the mustache / the Skull.
Sir. Hold on.
That's nice.
That's what the young kids call a flex.
So hold on one second. We had one of those guys last time, right? There's like 5 guys now on the earth that carry a comb in their pocket.
First, let's get it out of the way. How'd you get the name the Skull?
Just a young kid starting off in the fire service. I just thought it was a cool thing to do. Putting like skull and crossbones stickers on my old leather helmet, and trying to be a tough guy at 16. And I guess that nickname kind of stuck with me, and it's stayed with me for ever and ever so far.
Do they call you that in the firehouse? Like, yo, Skull?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's Skull. Yeah, hardly anybody calls me Jeff, so that's fine. But
what about your old lady? Did you do anything for her? Did she yell out, "Oh, Skull!
It's like Bull from Backdraft.
Now it's Seagull, so yeah.
That's
all right.
Yeah. Oh, Skull.
Oh,
Talk dirty to me, Skull.
Skull. All right, Skull, let's get right into it, bro. Give us.
No,
you got hooked.
No, we're not getting right into it.
I had it circled. I got it circled too. Oh, Pete,
this
you know
is
what
going to be
the day is today?
This is a night where we need as much love, care, and drunkenness as possible.
Yeah,
so
man.
We'll go with the obvious.
We'll go with the obvious. Word of the day is Skull.
Woo!
And I'm not hitting that button every time. So drink on your own accord, ladies and gentlemen. Drink on your own accord.
Once in a while, we'll throw it in. Yeah. All right, Jeff, why don't you tell us about how you got hooked into the fire service at a young age?
All right. Yeah, I grew up in a town just south of Harrisburg called Stilton. And what do you think that they did in Stilton?
Steel or drink?
Bingo. Bethlehem Steel. Bethlehem Steel factory down there. So, yep, I grew up in a steel town, pretty much a distressed town, not a very big town by any means. So my parents were very young, just starting out, and we lived in a crappy apartment building. And right out my back window, I could see the whole steel mill. And right across from that was the local volley house. So the siren would go off, and I'd jump out of my little bunk bed and run to the window, and I was able to watch the guys run across the vacant lot there and hop on the old, I think it was a 46, 47, Mac, no doors, gas powered, and hop on that rig and go to fires. And a lot of times I could actually look up, up the ways, and I could see the glow in the sky. So, it kind of, it just hooked me. I was very fortunate. The crappy apartment building that I lived in, the next door neighbors were very young, and he was a assistant volunteer chief. So, he would go to the fires, and my mom would bundle us little kids up. She was young, and believe it or not, back in the day, that was entertainment, buffing fires. So that's all I ever knew. We would just, my mom would take me and my brother to fires, and that town had a ton of them. It was a very unique situation to grow up in that town and go to fire after fire. And my God, it didn't take you, long to get hooked into that.
You got bit by the butt. How far from Harrisburg is that?
Like I said, it's just south of Harrisburg. So, now the steel industry, has collapsed, and I mean, it's still chugging away, but it's nothing like it was. And, I mean, just some crazy stories there. As a kid, and this was before the environmental stuff took place. My God, my mom would do laundry and hang it out to dry. We didn't have a dryer, and she would have to shake.
We lost him.
All the dirt off the laundry drying because the pollution was out.
No
bad.
shit.
So,
he'd
wake up and go out and play it, as a kid, and you there's dead birds everywhere, and it was something. And,
oh my God,
yeah.
Probably late 60s, early 70s, they started initiating, some environmental stuff. And it started cleaning the situation up. But it was something to grow up in Stilton, Pennsylvania. It was.
So that was like Deer Hunter. Did you like that? I mean, that was like right there, right? The Deer Hunter with De Niro. That was in a steel town, right? Kind of thing.
Well, I don't know where I think they wasn't in Pittsburgh, because everybody thinks of Pittsburgh as the steel town. But I think they might have. It might have been Johnstown, but Pennsylvania is a steel state, or at least it was. Bethlehem, Allentown, and
I heard that. I think I read somewhere that steel dust actually.
You froze. I missed it, but
the hamsters.
I'm sure you're busting my chops. So
no. He's froze up.
Yeah. Well, poor Coobies.
This might not be too bad either.
And I thought I was the guy struggling. So
Yeah. So Your mom was taking you.
Oh, he's back.
Jump? Oh, he's coming back.
Did I get my punchline out or no?
No.
You jacked it up.
I'm laughing to myself.
We got ours though, so don't worry. You're good.
AOL, dial up.
Let me finish my punchline. I read somewhere, I don't know if it was Popular Mechanics, that the steel dust that the guys were breathing caused an irregular growth in mustache hair. But
that's correct.
Hey, nice. I like that one.
Look how happy
what I missed.
Yeah.
Nothing. We're moving on.
All right, so we get through the steel dust, right?
Yep.
And the dirty laundry. And how old were you when you were able to start volleying, actually?
16. Yeah, they called them juniors here. I don't know what they call them up your guys' way. Probably the same thing. So, yeah, junior fireman. I was able to join, and it was another small town just south of Steelton here. It was called Harrisburg. I was able to join there at the age of 16, and things were different back then. And you would go on a fire call back in the day, and you would have on fire trucks. And that those days are gone. Volunteerism is down, and we all know that. They're all struggling, but I ended up joining the Harrisburg Firehouse at 16 years old, and just fell in love with it. The guys are really good with me. They were able to sneak me into some fires I probably wasn't supposed to be in. They snuck me into a couple acquired structure burns that I probably shouldn't have been invited to. I was I was able to learn a lot at a very young age. So, yeah,
that's cool. How small are we talking about? How big of a department? Like 2 firehouses?
No, just one local volley house. Yeah,
one volley house.
Yeah, 2 engines. Yeah, small time. It was a bedroom community, so we were surrounded, by urban departments to the south and to the north of us, but it was more of a bedroom community, so we didn't catch a lot of first due work there. So
That's a good start, man.
Yeah.
Put the toe in, and then you joined the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire as a volunteer member. So I was talking to you about in '83. So they had it's a part paid, part volley department.
That is a combination department, and that's not non-typical around these parts. So I was able to join there, and I believe it was '83. I was 19 years old, and at that time, I had some decent fires under my belt, and I really thought I was ready to make that next step, to go into the city of Harrisburg, and I was really wrong. I was not ready for that degree of firefighting, the high speed. It was definitely a freaking eye opener. I didn't know what I was doing. Had no freaking
What's
clue.
the ratio in a combined anyway, volleys and paid? How does it?
Well, back then things were a little different. Volunteerism was still fairly high. So there might have been 20, 30 active volunteers in the city of Harrisburg at that time. And, the paid career personnel was probably around 100 at that time. It's always going up and down throughout the years. So
now, you guys had your own fire station? Like there was a volley fire station and a paid?
At one time they did. Yeah, Harrisburg had 14 fire stations. It was kind of weird. They had career drivers, so you'd have a single engine company and a paid driver, and they were supplemented by volunteers. But that kind of went by the wayside. So by the 70s, there was really, it was all career guys. They had 2, one on the hill and one in the uptown, that was supplemented by volunteers. And they were actually live-in volunteers. They had actually guys that lived there. And, then they had guys like myself, which Harrisburg called them pops, and it called them volleys. We were called pops. And I think that was a career guys, because we'd pop in and out. But we'd come in there and ride, a couple of days during the week, maybe do a Friday or Saturday or night. And, it was a good way for a young kid to come in from the suburbs and kind of go to the big city and fight fire. So
how did you guys get along? Like, was there any?
Yes, it was not pleasant at times.
I could see that.
Yep. It was not pleasant, and I understand that. Harrisburg was listed as the second most distressed city in the United States in the late 70s and 80s. And they were always threatening to lay off the career staff and supplement that with volunteers. So sometimes it was tough to deal with some of the career guys, and we got that. And we always said, hey, brother, if they even threaten to lay you off, we're out of here. And we would have left. But yeah, sometimes things were, a little bit of friction in between the career and volunteer.
Well, I'm saying even too, like if you were a volley,
but we understood that, with those guys.
Yeah, if you were a volley and you were running into a building with guys who were getting paid to do the same thing you were doing, everybody who was a volley is trying to get on the paid side, I would imagine, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it was tough. It is what it is. Some of those career guys that were here, and I hate to talk, badly about it, but there were some guys there just didn't want to be there at that time. So I'm riding a rig 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, chomping.
And I had a guy there, hey, kid, you want the pipe? And I'm like, yeah. Hey, go get her. So, yeah. So we had a lot of, some of that stuff happened quite, more times than you really thought. So,
yeah.
Now, you've been on both sides of the fence now. So you're a paid guy. You are a volley guy. So you get to see both ways, right?
Yeah.
How is it now? Is it a little bit better, the relationship?
Yeah. Well, the volunteers, we still have volunteers there, but they're not there like, they used to be. I mean, our fire load's down. So, for kids who just want to come in to catch fire, the opportunities are not there like they used to be in the 70s and 80s. Right. So we still got guys that come in and ride. They can learn a lot. But yeah, it is what it is. It was just it was a great time. I mean, we were going to fires just like, nobody's business. It was incredible. We had, just to give you a little bit of background on the city, we're not like most Northeast smaller cities that, after World War II, a lot of.
Oh, he'll be back in a sec, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Connection's a little spotty out there.
And
there he is.
That compounded stuff after the civil rights riots. And then we had two back-to-back floods, one in 1972, one in 1975, that decimated, towns like Harrisburg and Steelton. So after that, Harrisburg lost half of its population. So we had street upon street, row homes after row homes that were left vacant. So the serial arsonists would come to town, and some of these people were from the suburbs just to come in and get their kicks. They would start lighting these places off. So the fire duty was just absolutely phenomenal. We called our war years just like you guys called it our war years. We did, the 70s and 80s, and they actually kind of trickled into the 90s a little bit. But yeah, great time to be a fireman. I can remember coming up there as a volley, putting my gear on the rig, and you'd catch a good Friday, Saturday night. As soon as it got dark, you'd start burning, and you'd catch fire until the sun come up. The arsonists would, get back in they worked in the cover of darkness. But my God, what a fun time it was to be a fireman. It just absolute beatdown. No safety police back in. And you're putting the fire out until the fire is out. There's no, you went through one cylinder, you're done. There's nobody else coming.
You want to wipe?
There ain't no wipes. It was just an absolute fun time. And that even kind of still stands to this day in Harrisburg. We still don't have, there's no rehab. There's still no safety police, and a great place to work. And
how big is the department now? What does it consist of? How many?
I think we got about 80 career guys now. So,
and how many firehouses or units do you roll?
We're down to 3 stations now out of 14.
Wow!
Holy shit!
Yeah. So our population's staying steady, but with a small city like us, you just never seem to be able to get out of that hole. That's unfortunate like that. But so 3 engine companies. We call them wagons here. So we got 2 wagon companies and a squad company, very similar to what you guys run. in the FDNY. It's got all the specialized equipment, and we have two aerial devices. One's a 75-foot aerial scope, and one's a tiller device.
So on every box, all the companies roll.
Now you'll get 2 engine companies and 2 trucks, and the battalion will go. So, and then the next alarm will bring that last engine company, and then you'll get the volunteers from the suburbs will come in and supplement us. So,
all right.
So, Jeff, we were talking about the pre-show, so I figured it'd be a good segue. That firehouse that's there in Harrisburg when we come out to the show, that's now like a bar or something. That's
the Allison. Yep.
That's one of those places that. How long was that closed down?
That closed, I believe, in '79.
Oh,
they
so
built they built the 2 bigger fire stations, and they tried to get everybody consolidated. Like I said, up until that time, you had one career driver driving a fire truck, and I couldn't imagine that. You're sitting in a firehouse by yourself, and you catch a box, and you're driving a fire truck. And you show up, you've got 2 or 3 houses going. You got to lay in. You got to get it.
You got to yell at yourself. Get in there, coward.
Hook up. Get the water. All right, hold on. Charge the line. All right, hold on.
Here comes your water.
You can't make this up. You can't make this up, brothers. And at that time, now they did have a heavy rescue. Once again, very similar to the FDNY. It was a CF Mac, 4-door big rescue box in the back, and I had, I believe, anywhere from 5 to 7 career guys at the time, and they would roll in, hop out of the rescue truck, and man the hose lines and go put the fire out, and then whatever volunteer members, city volunteers that were there. And them city volunteers back then were badasses. They were just as good, and some of those were better than some of the career guys. Some of those guys lived at those firehouses for 10 years during the war years. It's just incredible to me. Incredible.
Let me get this right.
Hold on, Coach. That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, are some of those guys, like, from your time still on the job now? Like, do you still have a lot of those guys, or they're all past, moved on?
No, I'm
the last of the Mohegans.
I'm the last asshole standing. So all the guys that I idolized and just watched as a kid, everybody's gone. We lost a lot of guys. We went through a leadership change, and it was really bad, and the guys were all going to lose their benefits. So all our senior guys left. My department is so young right now. It's just absolutely incredible. And that's, not necessarily sometimes a bad thing.
I understand.
These young kids are in such good shape. They're so highly motivated. And it kind of upsets me because we're not seeing the work.
You want to give them work, right?
And I keep telling these guys, they hear my war stories all the time. They're like, yeah, man, we're just sitting around. Yeah, this place, this is some, but
I just, not to be too overly sentimental, but I guess to quote Dennis Smith, this could be the night. So, that's what you tell them, I guess, right?
You better believe it. Yeah.
I want to ask you, Jeff. I mean, don't get me wrong. This Harrisburg is the capital of Pennsylvania, right? Like that's.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the capital PA.
I mean, they have a pretty big, not industrial area, like a business district down there too, right? And they have residential.
We are by not any means an industrial town. The state, it's the state, and how you feel about government. It's just they keep growing and growing and growing, and every time you turn around, they're building a new government building, and they are pretty much tax exempt. So, we have parts of our city that were decimated during the war years.
Nobody's they're not getting the tax base, right?
Right. The federal government's building a new courthouse. The state's building a new building here. They're building a new building here. We're just not able to dig out of that.
Yeah, but they should be throwing some money towards the fire department.
They do.
That city's growing.
It's a political fight every year to get that money that we need so bad to keep us alive. So, Yeah, it's just government seems to be. Oh,
The government
it just keeps growing and growing, brothers.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, I believe it's our numbers are 45% of the city of Harrisburg is tax exempt. 45%.
Yeah.
You know, how can you? Yeah, it's tough. Yeah,
Yep.
we're a distressed city, and I don't know if we'll ever get out of that status.
That's a shame. It really is a shame.
Yep.
All right, so let's go back a little bit. You enlisted in the Navy in '89. You did 4 years, stationed on the USS Mahan,
Yes.
South Carolina. You were hull maintenance, and you're also the ship's fire chief. I wonder how you got that job.
You know, I had done 10 years in the volleys, and you know, in between failed relationships, you know, I could always move back to the fire hall. So I lived in several of the volunteer fire stations throughout Harrisburg for years, and I knew I wanted to make this a career, but I was struggling. I had no skills, and it just seems like whatever I was doing, I was a failure. And one day I just, you know, I'm like, man, I'm living at the Volley House, which was cool, but I'm just not, I'm not moving forward. I was, you know, I couldn't hold a job down. So I did what the rest of my family had done, and I enlisted in the Navy. I come from a Navy Marine Corps background, and at that time there was no wars going on. So I figured, okay, I'll join the Navy, learn a good skill, get out, and you know, hopefully I can get a career job and move on from there. And so lo and behold, I joined the Navy. I do really well. I had no other choice because I was failing, and became a welder, a hull technician. And part of that job was, you know, being the ship's firefighting force. So did all that and turned my life around. The Navy saved my life. And of course, in the middle of that, the Gulf War breaks out. So I'm like, damn it. So, you know, I kind of miss. You know, I feel bad because you know, all my family has served in a combat role,
Right?
And I feel that I've been, you know, kind of got cheated from that. So it is what it is. But the Navy still saved my life. It taught me
Good stuff,
a great skill, and it helped me. It still helps me to this day. It really does. So any of you kids out there struggling, get your ass, get your parents, and get in the recruiting office and do the right thing. It can save your life. So there's a tip.
Yeah, beautiful. No doubt about that. I've heard that my whole life. Right? You see kids that just couldn't find.
Yep.
Yeah.
They get into the service, they come out, and you can't even believe it's the same guy.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It just did wonders for me. To this day, I have a phobia about being late. And my wife still goes crazy, like showing up, you know, 2 hours before the party.
You know what? That's about the only regret.
Like, I can't see. I get in trouble if I'm late. Way with work.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at way with work. I show up an hour early before my daylight shift and my night shifts. I'm here 2 hours early. But it's just I have that fear of being late, and the military will do that. It'll change your life. So
you come back and you go right back to volunteering. Do you go right back to Harrisburg volunteering?
Yes. Yep. I moved back into my hometown, and you know, at that time there, I pretty much knew that. I really enjoyed. You know, I enjoyed the service. I came back as a welder. I had a great skill. You know, I took a lot of pride in welding, but I knew I wanted to be a career man somewhere, and I tested up and down the East Coast for years. And when I say I tested there, I tested in departments that I knew were ghetto fire departments.
Right.
I could have tested, and I'm probably going to get beat up on this, but I could have tested at some of these county departments. But going on EMS calls and riding an ambulance and calling myself a fireman, you know, don't beat me up over this, guys, but it was not for me. So I was real selective on departments that I knew were catching fire. And that was my goal.
That was in the 80s, right?
No, I struggled in the 80s. I took like 1 or 2 tests, but after I got out of the service in 93, and that's when I really hunkered down, and I was driving up and down the East Coast. And like I said, I was just trying to pick places that were, you know, ghetto or pretty damn close to it. So I knew I wanted to go to work.
Yeah. Right. And lo and behold, Harrisburg calls you, right?
Yep.
Wow.
You know, after a lot of disappointment, and it was disappointment because I had never scored anything less than a 93 or a 94 on an exam. And even with my veterans points or preference, I just was getting so close. It just wasn't happening. And I got very lucky at Harrisburg, and I missed one on the exam, and with my veterans points, I was in. I got the letter.
Meant to be.
My ex-wife actually got it, and she called. She was so excited. She, so supportive back in that day of me getting on the job. And I'm like, you know what? I've been disappointed for 6-7 years of taking exams. I said, I am not doing somersaults until I'm sitting in the exam. So it was a great day, to finally get hired after all these years. So
that's awesome.
And I don't know how it was for you guys, but once I got on the job, just talking to brothers, like, well, yeah, this was the only test I ever took, and I got hired off that. And I hear that all the time, and it kind of made me feel bad. I'm like, my God, I was testing.
That's not true. I mean, that's everybody. Everybody. I mean, there was a lot of guys out of state who did that.
It was kind of upsetting because, like, my God, I've tried everything. I did so well in the service, and my record was, impeccable, and it was a struggle to get on. And good for you if you got hired the first time you took the exam. But
I had to take the FDNY twice, right? Ruffy took it. I took the same one as Ruffy. He got hired. I didn't. And then, like you said, I got serious. And I took it again, and I got called. I remember probably the same feeling as you. Maybe not as long, but maybe in years it was, right, Ruff? I mean, what'd you have? 3 more years?
Long. Yeah. It's a long time in between.
So I remember I got the letter too. I remember when I got that letter. It's unbelievable, man. It's an unbelievable feeling to get something.
It is crazy. And just a quick story, and I had taken. I will jack up the English language like nobody else, but I took the Massachusetts state exam twice, and I didn't know any better. There's so many preferences up there, an out-of-stater, an out-of-towner. You're not going to get hired. It is what it is. But I stopped in a house in Boston, and by the way, if you ever stop up to any of the New England places, my God, those people are so nice to you. They make you feel at home. But we stopped, and I think it was the Brighton section of Boston, and was treated like $1 million. But, the guy was asking us questions. I said, yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania, and, I'm here to take the exam. And he says, well, good luck, buddy, because I took the exam 10 times before I got hired. And every time he took it, it was a 99 or 100.
Oh, my goodness.
He said the time he got hired, the legendary fire commissioner, Stapleton, actually had names in a fishbowl. No. Can you believe that?
Come on.
That they pulled names out. It was so tight to get those fire department jobs that's how this captain in Brighton got hired.
Wow.
Leo Stapleton pulled his name out of a freaking fishbowl. That's how tight it was. So
wow.
It's not easy.
No. Well, how many guys took ours? 100,000 guys or something?
I think it was like 60 or 70,000, and they only take about 3,000. 4,000 maybe, depending on what they're doing and how the next test comes along. Because there's always an issue with a test, so the longer it goes, if you're on the bubble, it's always good.
I gotta be honest with you, as a civilian, I love that. Love hearing that about the FDNY. I know that's tough for everybody, but you're getting the best pick. And the guys who do get on, the cream rises to the top. That's why the reputation is that.
They keep it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, nobody cares about all that other crap. What you are, what your color you are. As long as you do the job, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, what you look like, as long as you can do the job.
Yep. You bet.
So you're 36 when you get on, right? They had no age requirements or nothing back then. There was no.
I mean, like I said, I was testing up and down the East Coast. Washington, D.C. was their cutoff was 32. So that was kind of disappointing. That's another very impressive fire department. I was it was just coming down to the wire, and I knew I had to make something happen, and I just got lucky. And
hey, God had a plan for you, brother.
You betcha. You betcha. Yep.
All right. So you worked in the city's engine companies as a pipeman. Explain that terminology to us, bro. Worked on Wagon 4.
Yeah. Earlier in my career, or I shouldn't call it a career, as a volley, I was kind of, forced into or drawn to being a truckman. and that was fine. But my love of the job was being on the pipe. To me, there's nothing better than that. It's the biggest freaking beatdown that you can, ever have. I just absolutely love that beatdown of being a pipe man. You're the guy to me that makes or breaks that operation. You can get up there and with your flip flops and Speedo on the roof and with your little hatchet and cut little holes in there all day long. But if you ain't in there putting the fucking fire out, nothing else matters. And that's the absolute truth. And I know truck guys are going to probably be out my door right now. They can kill me. But yeah, being that guy on that pipe that's the shit. It is the absolute freaking beatdown, man.
The knob is the job, baby.
Yeah,
well, nothing ever makes me happy than, my ears burning, my shoulders burning. I'm in heaven. When I'm in that building and I'm burning.
I'm in heaven.
Yep, that beehive and you're like thousands of hornets. Like, I'm in heaven, baby.
Well, again, as I normally say, what the hell is wrong with you people? But that's okay. You know what I mean? That's okay. You guys have problems. I'm running. Oh, yeah. You guys are running in. I'm running out. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
So, I guess we want to get to some of these fires. You
want to start with early ones.
You want to start with that close call, or where do you want to go?
Wherever you want to start, I got a freaking story. These guys will tell me I got a story for everything. So.
Yeah, I got you, brother. Well, here we go. Let's start with this one then. This is that close call. Let's give these guys some unsolicited old school tips,
Yeah, and a lot of this is good, like exactly what you're saying, Pete. These are all going to be tips that keep your ass alive. So I don't know what year this was, probably early, maybe mid 2000, maybe 4 or 5. Who cares? But anyhow, this was a couple blocks from the station. This is a typical Harrisburg row home. This is the end of the row, quite obviously, as you can see. This was the conditions that, I originally saw upon stretching the line. That's me right there at the steps. I'm actually pulling my line out. So I figured, okay, I got fire out 3 rooms on the first floor, out the rear porch. I know I got, good fire in the basement. My goal was to push in, a couple rooms of fire. That's easy shit. Do it every day. Find the basement steps, go push the basement out. So I get in this door. I'm only in the door about 3 feet, and I got 2 brothers behind me, and I can take some pain, but I can hear the 2 brothers behind me doing the ooh, ow, ooh, ow.
The old ooh, ow, ooh,
yeah,
ow.
Jeff,
right.
they don't like the
I'm not saying shit because I'm the badass, but my eye shields on my helmet are already – they're melting in front of me.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, this is going to hurt. This is not going to be easy. So I kind of reeled it in a little bit, and I'm not going as madman status I usually am. And thank God I wasn't, because I taken about maybe 2 or 3 feet, and I'm watching the dining room floor sinking in slow motion.
Yeah, sagging, yeah.
And it goes in, and blue flames, don't ask me what that was about, come out. And we're like, okay, we've had enough of this shit.
Wrap it up.
So, yeah, we're wrapping it up, and that's what that picture is right there. I'm pulling my line out, and then we did the old, hitting it hard from the yard or whatever, people
terminology they use.
So, so we ended up bailing water in, and then I think it went back into. I think it went up the row, maybe only one more house. I think we actually had a firewall here, so that's what kind of saved us that day. But lesson to be learned. Sometimes you gotta reel it in and slow it down a little bit. And if I would have been on full blown maniac mode,
right,
God knows. So
you know what, and you'll know that Jeff is the real deal. As if you don't know him, personally, as you look at his gear as the years go on, it looks like he stuck his head in the furnace. And then,
well, look at this salty man.
You'll know.
Look at his eye shields.
He didn't put that in an oven. You know what I'm saying?
No, ain't no oven. Yeah, that's a lot of fire duty. But just a quick little. This is very early on in my. In fact, I don't even think I had 2-3 years on a job, and this was kind of a cool story. Harrisburg's very tight. The streets are really miserable. You can really struggle to get the rigs in. So we were having a heck of a time getting the wagon in the street. I could see we had a job. And I told my chauffeur, stop. I said, let me get the hell out. I ran down the street to recon what the hell we had burning. So I get down there and I got my radio. I'm looking up and I'm going, oh shit, I got, I get on the mic. I'm like, okay, wagon 4 rider to command. I got 1, 2, 3 houses involved and leave that transmission ride. So I'm expecting my battalion, battalion or whoever, give me the next alarm. There's radio silence. So
crickets.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, this is going to hurt. So there's about 7 of us that are actually going to be in these. We got 3 houses going, about 7 firemen to put 3 houses
Holy
out.
shit.
So this is, typical back in the day, God rest his soul. And I'm not going to name names, but that battalion is gone. He was a great guy, but some of these guys, they either didn't grasp the job or I don't know, but good times.
Jeff, we kill it with manpower, right? We say
I know you guys.
We say how many guys can you fit in the building, right? With the squad, at least 5 more, right? We're going to stick as many guys into we can in there.
Not
to our detriment,
Harrisburg.
but to our detriment too. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like sometimes there's too many guys, and
and I see that a lot of times, and sometimes it throws a question mark. If I got to get out of here in a hurry,
no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm going to be throwing bodies.
There's no doubt about that.
I don't have that issue.
You turn around, there ain't nobody there. Maybe
nobody there.
One guy going ooh and ah.
Hey, the ooh and ah might have saved him, bro. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Arms over his shoulder. Stop.
And just to give some folks a quick idea of how tight the streets get, right? You were saying, what did you tell us before the show? You had to get into this.
This was an arson job. The guy, from my understanding, was a golden glove boxer and probably took too many shots to the head. We lit this joint off, and these are duplexes. It's tough to see. It looks like a row home, but they were very tight. So we ended up having fire in 5 houses that night. So this is wagon 4, which I was assigned back in the day, and I was riding on the officer side, and you can't see because of the picture, but there's a guardrail there. And I couldn't even get out of the cab. So I'm pulling up and I'm like, oh man, I want to get out and kill this fire. I can't even get out of the rig. So I had to jump over the engine cover to even go pull the pre-connect to go to work. And what was really cool about this fire was I ended up going north, or it would be south of this picture. But I was by myself. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to suck. How am I going to get my line in there? And I had a Harrisburg City cop there, and this is how we do it sometimes. I yelled, "Yo, homie!" I said, "Put my line in." So here's a Harrisburg City cop, pushing my line in for me.
Nice.
What this fire was so cool about, the breezeway in between these houses were so tight; they were only like 2 feet. Enough for you to walk in, and the windows aligned perfectly. So as I get up the top of the steps, I'm met with fire, and I'm killing it. I push down the hallway, I knock a room out, and like I said, I'm by myself. I'm just enjoying. This is awesome, and I look behind me, and I got fire rolling down my ass now. I'm like, what the hell? So I got to fight my way back down the hallway. Put the rooms out again. I'm like, what is going on? Now that I have to go forward again because it's burning again. Here, like I said, the windows were lined up.
Oh, so you're getting.
Yeah, so all that fire you see there was blowing in my place. So I actually had to knock a room down and bail it out the window to try to get it in that building to try and park it out. This went on the whole night.
One guy to put out 2 buildings.
Yeah, one guy. One guy in a
car. Out of this joint, and my air cylinder was so hot, my nose looked like Rudolph because I'm breathing all that superheated air in. But it was one of the funnest fires I was ever at. It was the fire that never went out, and it was like, you just wish every fire was like this.
That's the Groundhog Day fire.
You didn't.
Yes.
You were really careful, right? You didn't hit your skull or anything, did you?
Hey, there we go.
I forgot my drink.
That's for our alcoholics in the audience.
That's why you're doing such a good job.
Oh, a nice Yingling. There you go.
Yingling.
Your mother's so happy right now, by the way.
I went to grab my drink. I forgot
it. Pennsylvania, representing Pennsylvania.
There you go.
Yingling.
Want a quick Yingling story?
Shoot.
So first date, I go on with my wife. We go to the bar. All right. So my wife's Asian. I don't even know what Yingling is. I go, what are you drinking? She goes, I'll have a Yingling. I'm like, wow, what is that? Like some kind of Asian beer or something? What is that? She goes, it's the oldest beer brewery in the country, you idiot.
That's right.
Hey, Kev, you're looking a little nuclear, my man. Do you want to shut the overhead light for us?
It's off.
Is it? You're looking a little nuclear. You know?
Holy Christ.
I just can't see right now because I look into the light, Coops. Look into the light.
All right, Petey, what do we got next, kid? We got a lot of
do we want to do some more close
excited.
calls? Hey, actually, you know what? Let's set this
I want
up.
fire stories. Give me fire stories.
Okay, fire stories. Go for it. This is another one right here that here we go. Actually, let's do this one. This is a good one you were mentioning. All right, here we go.
Mark
Tell us
Mayfield
about
said
this.
your forehead would be burnt by the end of the show.
Yeah, this kind of sucks. You know, we just kind of dealt with this. Well, we kind of didn't. We just dealt with this with the Baltimore brothers. So, God bless Baltimore. But this was us about 2 years ago. We had 5 arson fires all within maybe an hour, and all within maybe a 2 square block area. This was we started off with an earlier, pissy pants little fire. He tried lighting it off from exterior. We got there real quick, knocked it down. And, as we're sitting there just shooting the poop, I see my guys on my tower running back to the tower. I'm like, where the hell are they going? And the cop goes, oh, there's another fire down the street. I'm like, oh, shit. So I run back to the tower, and, they're bipping on the radio. They're like, yeah, there's a fire right down the street. And, yeah, there certainly was. So this was what we deal with in Harrisburg a lot. And, like we all do in the Northeast, they can structure fires. So, I pull up on my tower ladder and, I get my size up. I got fire showing from everywhere. And I was hoping nobody would have went into this because the Bravo side had already collapsed. And this was probably collapsed, just because of just being old and dilapidated.
Weather, yeah.
So I'm in the tower bucket. I'm going up, get me water in the bucket and I'm going to kill it. I love being in that tower. That's another fun thing doing. Piping on that tower ladder is a blast. So I get up to the 3rd floor and I can see flashlights up there. I'm like, now I'm pissed. I'm like, what are these guys doing in this joint? So I'm like, all right, well, maybe somebody's doing something I don't know about. So a couple minutes in the job, we suffer a catastrophic collapse of this building. And I have to pull one of my best buds out of one of these top floor windows. Another captain with a new hire, which is sitting here tonight with me, had to be rescued out of another window. We had guys that were just absolutely seconds away from getting crushed by this collapse. So it's just, we dodge these bullets all the time. We get
lucky. We do get lucky. As bad
God.
as it is, we get lucky.
And it's just like, guys, sometimes we got to reel it in. We got to, throw your thinking caps on, just because we've done it 1,000 times, you're going to get bit. So, yeah. So this was just a close call. And when we got counting up all the guys that could have got killed that night, it was close to 10 to a dozen guys. You can't make that up, but
nope.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't want to harp on it, especially, with what has just happened in Baltimore. And, we'll move on to the next piece.
I think Jeff, too, what happens is, too, if you were talking like in the 70s or 80s, right, or whatever, you were going to a lot of fires. So, even though the guys did a lot, you could pick your spots. Now, if you get a job, right, that might be your only job that you have to prove yourself or to do anything, right? So you're going to give it, like you were saying, you're going to give it balls to the wall because you might not have got to a job in weeks or months or whatever it is, So
you bet.
As much as I agree with you 1,000%, believe me. Yeah. But I could understand where guys,
especially if you fucked up on your last job,
right? Well, who knows? I could be 6 months ago.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, you want to go prove yourself the next one. So you might do things you might not know what to do.
Like I said, I feel horrible because I'm surrounded by, in my opinion, some of the best. All young guys are in great shape. Sure. Everybody's so conscious about working out and eating right and doing all that. And these guys love to go to fires. And we didn't have that, when I first started off. Some of the career guys, they were either slugs or they were like maniacs. And now I'm surrounded by a lot of talent, and it kind of breaks my heart that
I got you.
We're not seeing the work that I wish these kids would be seeing. I really wish they'd see the work that we saw, 30, 40 years ago.
I would try and get, even at the end, I was trying to get into jobs, not even for me, right? It's not for me. I mean, for you guys, it's different because you're only showing up with a bunch of guys. But for me, especially in the squad, I'm trying to get into the job just for the guys to get into the job, just to get a piece of the job, but
is there a way, Jeff, that you can train that? Like, I know there's nothing like a fire, but how do you guys handle drilling and stuff? Like any other fire department, or how much of a priority is that in light of the idea that there is not as much work?
Yeah, I mean, Pete, you hit it right on. We're training like any other department. But I will tell you this: we are very fortunate to still have a lot of vacants in our city. So
we could practice.
We will take our kids after they come out of the academy, which you're training in a concrete burn building, which, in my opinion, that's the basics. But other than that, they suck.
Mm-hmm.
They really suck. So we take our kids when they come out of the academy, and we take them in our vacant buildings, and we drill and we drill. We're doing them truck ops. We're cutting roofs. We're showing them how we, do all this, and then we're stretching lines. But yeah, you can do that until the cows come home. But you guys know that.
Yeah.
Nothing beats going to real freaking jobs. And it is a thing, I believe, that's plaguing the American Fire Service. It really is. Lou, you had brought it up. I think it was the last podcast about robots. And I don't, if you remember that, you were saying about a rescue you saw, like maybe a video where there was a person in a window and the guys were like donning.
Yeah. That was it.
That directly comes back to all of us. It really does, because we train robots. It doesn't seem like we train people to think on their own. And that's shameful. And I'm going to jump into a quick fire story. It was a daylight job as a volley, and it was a fatal fire. And I went out into the suburbs with my house, and it was, I think he called them a bi-level or a split level. I don't know. I'm terrible in newer construction. I worked in the shithole. So I go up a couple flights of steps, and you have a landing where you can actually see down I guess that's a split level, right?
Well, you can see through the railing. Yep, you can see through it. Yep.
You can't make this up. The fire, quite obviously, it's upstairs, but I'm looking downstairs and I see two kids, and there was no smoke or no fire, nothing. They're crawling while
on air,
because that is what they've been taught at fire school. And that always stuck to me. I'm like, how can you not stay on your feet under those conditions, move rapidly through that? There's no conditions there. Why would you be crawling? But kids do this because that's what they're freaking taught. And this was a horrible fire. The upper level, I get up to the upper level, and it was a lifelong friend of mine. He goes, "Hey, man, I got some dude." And he was in the kitchen. We had good visibility, maybe about 2 feet of good visibility. Some pretty soupy shit above our heads. But I looked at him, very good visibility. I could see some, the black boogers in his nose. I'm like, hey, this guy's viable. So we drag this dude out. By the time about 3 or 4 of us, we grabbed this old dude and put him out in the yard. And I see MS coming over. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't got to do CPR. I'm going back and have fun, put some fire out. This is a no shitter. One of my off-duty guys filmed this, back in the old day with the big cameras. EMS came over and never checked his vitals, covered this dude with a blanket.
Oh, my God.
Yep. It was all caught on film. They never checked this poor guy. And most of my saves or grabs have been nothing more than tripping over people. Like, oh, yeah, that was a big, it wasn't bullshit.
Yeah. We all know this.
And I felt so bad because this was a viable, in my mind.
Right, a real deal thing. Right.
And I couldn't believe what I saw when I got back to Firehouse. You need to watch this video. And my freaking head blew up like a nuclear bomb. And I'm like, oh my God. But anyhow, getting back to these cats crawling, it just, we do a bad job at training people to think on their own and, don't move like a robot. Like,
so you think that comes from, I mean, obviously not going to a lot of fire, right? I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But two, I think there's something, like, even for us, even on our job, like towards the end there, people were a little, not afraid. I don't want to say afraid, but you don't want to get jammed up, right? For some stupid ass shit, like, you don't want to get in trouble, right? Whereas probably 30 years ago, people going to so many fires, the chief, you didn't have to worry about any of that shit. You know what I mean? Guys really did think on their own, and maybe they were more manly men guys. Maybe we weren't getting computer geek guys. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
You could train all you want. Training is not experience. You can't train experience, and experience is the best teacher, right? You only become an experienced fireman by going to jobs to get that experience. You can't teach something that's in an uncontrollable environment in a controlled environment. You can't. It's not the same thing.
No, it is not. No. And, even when we all started off, I'm sure we were probably taught things at the academy that when you got out in the street, the senior guys are like, no, this ain't how we do it in the real world. And, my eye opener was, being in the suburbs, as a volley and then going to the city, I was always taught to crawl and stay low. And when I got to Harrisburg City, I was being run over. People were stepping on my back, and I'm like, boy, you better get your head out of your ass. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I'm like, man, I had no clue how these guys operated.
But you know what?
The stuff you learn.
Isn't it something though to say for a man of your position, right? Like, you're a senior man, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. So then it goes from the academy, which is one level of training, to the firehouse culture, right? So isn't that like where they really get their, I mean, it's not a fire. It's on the job training though, isn't it?
Yes. It's our duty, a senior or even junior, it doesn't take a senior man or an officer, to show them the ropes. But you're exactly right. When they get out of the academy, you're going to show them how we do it in the real world and out in the street. But, we're living in a different time period right now where everything's on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I'm struggling with that. We're getting new hires coming through. And, back when we got hired, you'd never question tactics. Now guys are, I just saw this on YouTube. I saw this Joe Blow training company. I'm watching guys crawling around in a parking lot, putting out make-believe fire. Mm-hmm. Well, that doesn't work. Here's an eye-opener for you guys that are doing this BS training. It doesn't work that way in the real world.
Again, a lot of guys are sending me a lot of videos and a lot of stuff. But that video that I saw where that guy was outside and the woman was at the window, right? It was smoke pouring out of her head. And he was, he put his helmet between his legs. He was turning his bottle on, 6 turns. He was putting his hood on, and then he put his mask on his hood. And then some dude who was just hanging there jumped in the window, pulled a woman, some civilian.
Yeah, civilian.
Took some smoke and pushed the woman out. But like the Chief Sarko said, putting himself before the mission. You know what I mean? And
if anybody really in the fire service. If anybody in the fire service wants a real eye-opener, go buff fires.
Yeah.
Don't care about what your buddies say. Don't, your buddies call you a whacker. Go buff a fire. Go sit in the background. Don't sit up front and hear what the people say. That's an eye-opener.
That's
a lot of those people are talking shit would have never lifted a finger to go help anybody. Probably never served their country. But just listen to their remarks. I didn't think about that. And so I started buffing, I'm watching these firemen walking up the street and they're walking slow. This place is burning like crazy. And, because we're too cool to move with a purpose, people in the fire service should listen to what the public says. You would be surprised that you may not be as squared away as you think you are.
Yeah.
I hear this all the time where I work at. Man, you guys got here in seconds. You guys you were running like maniacs to get in that building. Something to think about. To think about. You may not be squared away like you think you are.
I like that, bro.
I have a quick super chat that came in. It turns out that MC's audio does have communion money, and he broke some of it out.
Nice, Petey. Good for you. That's fine, man. You're getting better.
There you go. In my hometown of New Haven, fire runs are sparse, but EMS runs are a constant. For Harrisburg, how many EMS runs are generally the norm, and how much training goes into them, if any?
Thanks, well, we're all trained to the EMT level, but I can tell you this: in 20-some years of being on a job, I've never taken a BP. So,
yeah,
what do I hear in the background? Oh, here comes EMS.
You're good.
Right.
Yeah. So no, it's kind of crazy, like I said, because we're all EMTs. We got a couple paramedics on the job, but we are not an EMS-based department. We run cardiac arrests and ODs. Surprisingly enough, as violent as that city is, we don't do any stabbings or shootings. It kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit, like, man, we're all trained to that level. But no, it's just we don't do EMS here. So
and just to put it in perspective, I wanted to show some photos of the kinds of structures that you guys are responding to, but I want to start with this one right here. And what does everyone notice when they see this photo, right? Besides the line, right? Look at this, right? So speaking of EMS runs, you're dealing with a lot of needles and ODs and all that sort of stuff.
The vacants bring that, right? The vacants, if you have a lot of vacants in your area, you're going to have a lot of that crap in there, right?
Yeah, and it's like we said before, this isn't something that's plaguing urban departments. This is so widespread. I mean, this is going from New York City to Detroit to LA to hillbilly, backwoods Pennsylvania or Kentucky or Tennessee. It's hitting everywhere. This heroin epidemic is everywhere, and it's something to be very cognizant of when operating these burning buildings. I teach, stay on your feet at all costs. I mean, it's got to be absolutely miserable for me to crawl. And that's one of the reasons. That's one needle you see there. Mm-hmm. But you guys know you go in these buildings, there's 25, 30, 100 needles in some of these. You're crawling through needles. There's shit and piss and puke and you name it. It's in these buildings. And
stay out of it. Yep.
Yeah. It's got to be a freaking horrible, horrible fire for me to be on my hands and knees. And
so how do you even approach something like this if you're hitting it from the rear exposure?
Well, you struggle. Like I said, it's just this is common in Harrisburg.
And to describe it for the audio listeners, it looks like a junkyard, but it's a backyard.
Yeah, these are backyards to some Allison Hill row homes. Some of these joints have been vacant for 30, 40 years. You see a lot of trash in the backyards. That's probably, compounded, twice, 3 times as bad in the, building itself. Another trick of the trade, or what I like to tell the guys too, you can see the chain link fences everywhere. And at least where I work at, the electric service runs to the rear of these places a lot of times. So you get a good joint that's rocking real good. When the power lines come down, they hop on those fences.
You'll get zapped on the fence.
We're touchy guys.
Yeah.
We got to grab. We touch everything, and you touch that fence and you're dead. So, this is another beautiful Allison Hill place. Heard several times before.
Good God!
You know what, Jeff? In New York, even in the crappier areas, even when I was in 103 in East New York, they started fixing up the vacants, right? We used to go to the vacants and practice all the time, and then little by little, they started, because the property was becoming more of valuable. And I mean, I would be very hard pressed to have, maybe in your area, maybe now, even those companies down there in Brooklyn or in the Bronx, even in South Queens or whatever, maybe you have 1 or 2, 3 vacants. But very
crazy.
Few. Yeah, it's very
I'd
few.
have never thought that in New York after
very few.
Being a buff and watching Yankees games and the camera would pan out like, there's 3 or 4 columns.
Oh my God,
it's impossible.
Yeah, I
now.
never. Yeah, that's something you said that, Lou, because I'd have never thought you could. But we're fortunate, we can take our kids to a vacant every day and train.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's a part of the drilling problem that we were having when that conversion was happening, probably early 2000s. When that first time around, when the economy was coming back, I saw it. That any vacant lot, they were building something too. So we were actually practicing while they were building it in those buildings, searching and stuff like that before they
bring that our way.
Yeah, no doubt.
So we're also.
I mean, I think we're going the other way now.
Fire activity seems to be picking up in the Big Apple again. So
another super chat coming in here from Doug Waite. He's asking, are there any tips for new volunteer officers that you might have for them?
Oh my God.
That's
I don't know. In my volley years, I had started from, lieutenant on all the way up to a deputy chief in volley houses. But I don't know. That's a tough one. I think no matter whether your career or a volunteer, it's not about as much sometimes as the knowledge that you have on, firefighting. A lot of times, especially in the volunteer, you're right. In the volunteer thing, it's more how you're going to treat people. If you want to be successful as a volunteer, you gotta try to, hold their interest. You got to train, but you got to try to treat these people with respect. They're volunteer. They're not there to, take a mental beat down and be degraded. So, just trying to treat people the way that you would want to be treated. You don't see that a lot, unfortunately. I hear a lot of horror stories in the volunteer service about, this guy's an ass. And, I seen guys move in volley houses that ruined a volley house in a year because of, bad leadership. So, treat people like you would want to be treated. And also treat people knowing that, this may not be their calling. Take what you can get out of them. You may have a guy that comes in there
right
like,
there, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Going into burning buildings, that's for maniacs. I'm not doing it. But that dude can be he could throw ladders for you.
Yeah, right.
So take what you can get from your volunteers.
Yeah.
Key on that.
That's a freaking great point. I never thought about that. How do you keep people motivated?
Don't
get paid to do it.
From the outside, banging ground ladders. There's plenty of shit to do in the volunteer.
This guy might work at 7-Eleven pouring coffees for a living, and he's coming over here, and you got to keep mad at him, right?
You're trying to get him to go down the basement with the line.
Don't run him. Don't run him out.
Lou won't go down into a basement. He's trying to get this guy in.
No. Sub-sellers. Don't broad stroke.
Up. My bad.
Some guys don't join the volleys for the fight, dude. You got to realize that too. Some guys join it to hang out with guys, right? Not everybody's into the fights.
Tax breaks.
Whatever the case may be, Some guys like the idea of being a fireman.
There's a spot for everybody. There honestly is. Yeah.
There's a seat for every ass.
There's a good photo here that has some meaning behind it. Maybe you could tell us what this one meant to you, and
that's his love right there.
My lieutenant, when I worked at the squad, Denny DeVoe had been killed, and this was probably about a week and a half after his death, and we were still in heavy mourning, and we had a lot of people doing what they should have been doing as firemen. They were coming in, visiting us, and we were in a bad spot. And this fire come in a block away from where he got killed at. And this was about 7 to 10 houses going. And as you can see by that picture, they're going good. I'm the guy there with the pipe in my hand with that, would you please charge this freaking handline hose? So there was fire for everybody. It was another one of those once in a lifetime fires. And but that we always said after that fire, it was a freaking good beatdown. That was Denny DeVoe's way of, getting us back into the game, getting our heads squared away, and not sitting there crying about them. And it felt good. It felt like $1 million to take a freaking
fire out.
Yeah, it was a good fire too. It was a.
How many guys you have there with you? 8?
What's that?
One guy per building? What'd you have over there?
Actually, that room that you see all the fire at, I ended up having that building by myself. I had a guy pushing my line in for me he stayed on the first floor, and I ended up knocking the second floor out before they pulled us out because of conditions. But, it was like all hell coming down on you. The whole place is coming down on you. And
you got the line up there.
Jeff, we are definitely spoiled, bro. If we don't have like 6 guys on the truck, like 5-man engine, or like
guys are crying.
We're
5-man away.
We're spoiled.
Listen,
get around the
I got one really important question here, Jeff. Who the hell is taking all these pictures for you? That's what I gotta know.
Yeah, that's something that I'm glad you brought up. There's a lot of fire buffs around the area, and we do social media. In fact, I'm really active on one of the pages that I run out of the firehouse I work at. And, I'd have never thought about this, 35, 40 years ago, but I'm glad it's there. I really am. I wish we had helmet cams. I wish we had dash cams, 30, 40 years ago, or even beyond that. Could you imagine seeing some of these?
Oh, my God.
Like out of the Bronx and Detroit, and out of Brooklyn.
My God.
Yeah. So, and I got beat up on some of the guys I really love and respect years ago beat me up like, man, you guys in your pictures. I'm like, you know what? When I retire, this is all I got.
Right.
This is something I'm going to look back on. So I cherish those pictures. I wish we had took a whole lot more back when I was a kid. Because a lot of the guys I fought fire with are dead and gone.
Yeah.
So
I love that you said that.
Take pictures. Take a lot of them,
That's great.
Don't get yourself bound up over them because guys are doing stupid shit. But take a lot of pictures.
We got another super chat in here, another couple. So let me hit you with the first one here. It's from Kyle Householder. He's saying, maybe you didn't see this, but what is your opinion on volunteer or maybe even paid guys having to have a title in the fire company, meaning like being an LT or a captain or something like that? I don't know what that really means, but
repeat that, Pete. I'm confused as hell.
Yeah, he's asking like, what's your opinion on a volunteer of a volley house having ranks,
lieutenants and captains? I guess. He's saying, do you need officers?
It has to be some kind of structure.
In the volley house?
No, it paid too. He said paid or volley.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have structure, and whether you're volley or career, you have to have that. I mean, it's just essential to.
Yeah, you have guys.
I'm still confused.
Yeah, they have guys running around all over the place doing whatever they want.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Structure.
Yeah, you got to have leadership in every freaking thing you do in life, whether you're a fireman or a cop or a welder or a garbage man. You got to have people in charge, and it's just the way it is.
And then, and then the other one is Michael Bruce, I think it's his last name. He's saying, would you tell us a story about Jared Briggs, if you have it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That's my homeboys right now.
Okay.
And I got a lot of Jared Briggs stories.
Tell us the funniest one.
Yep, I will tell you a quick Jared Briggs story. Jared Briggs is a combat Marine veteran, and I think at least 2 tours of combat. So he's and he's brave,
real
American
deal.
Patriot, real deal. But I can tell you a quick Jared Briggs story.
Let's go, Brandon.
I'm driving one day, and I hated driving. Driving to me sucks. You never heard a good story like, oh, that was the greatest fire ever. I was driving for it. So, so we're at a fire alarm in a downtown at a high rise, and we just cleared from that, and they dispatched us for a fire on Liberty Street. So Jared is my pipe man now. He's a young guy doing a job, Marine Corps. I'm like, badass, right? So I'm saying, hold on, I'm going to get you in there first. After the rest of these dudes. So I'm driving with if I had hair, it would be on fire. So I'm booking across one of the city bridges, and it's a beautiful blue sky, and the column straight up as black as coal. And I'm like, yeah, boy. And I'm yelling, and I look back at him, and I'm like, Jared, let's go. It's going to be a good fight. And I double take. He's sitting in the fold down there. He's not even putting his breathing apparatus on. I'm like, Jared, what did you do? I'm like, I'm trying to get you first due at a good fire.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Oh my God, you can't make this up. I'm going to a fire and he's sitting back there looking out the freaking window like I'm taking him on a Sunday drive. So yep, that's one of my Jared Briggs stories. But God love him. He's a special guy.
Did
he's
he get
a
him
Marine.
first? Did he get him first?
No, I still got screwed. But
all right.
He ended up.
It wouldn't matter anyway. What's the difference if he's not ready to go?
Well, he was ready, but a long story short, the guy that was supposed to have the pipe didn't want any part of it, so Jared ended up getting the pipe.
All right, there you go.
But Jared was still a shining star, but yeah, Jared is a special guy.
He's a special guy. So somebody also wants to know if you've ever seen.
He's an ex-Marine, so.
They want to know if you've ever seen Joe Kuhn sober since he's gotten on the job.
Yeah, Joe's here right now. He's one of my fluffers for tonight.
A unit.
Yeah,
he's a unit.
That's coming from Nick Kimmel, by the way, just so we can rat him out.
Yeah. Joe's here in the corner.
Fluffer. Everybody needs a fluffer
right now, by the way, too. So.
Ooh,
my word!
I don't want to see that.
Yes.
Too much for me, bro.
So who's this and what's going on here?
Just me being me. It's another thing here. The guys got to realize too in the fire service. Some guys are in this job that and I get it. We're serious and they're training. This this job will kill you and hurt you in a heartbeat. But goddamn, brothers, you got to lighten up a little bit and you got to have fun. It's just me having fun, making the brothers smile, and man, just you're only here for 20, 30 years, at the most, maybe doing this job. But man, make it fun, guys.
Enjoy every second of it, right, bro?
You betcha. Because it goes so freaking quick, man. It goes so freaking quick.
Patty Lee said he had a lot of special guys. I know what he's saying, Patty.
That was my lieutenant, Jeff. That was
he had a lot of special guys with
special needs. Yep.
So, our gentleman who asked the question earlier reworded it, so now we can probably get it a little bit better here. There are people out there who just want to be in a line officer's position. They don't care about being there for their city or their community. What would you tell them? There you go.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's a correct answer for that. And we all know people like that. We've all been surrounded by people that, just had to wear the white helmet or the white front piece. And I really don't know what that answer is. It's hard to weed some of these people out. We have them in career departments and you're going to have them in volunteer departments too. So I don't know what the answer is to that, but
it's a tough spot.
Yeah, it's a tough
especially
question.
If they're your boss.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Never liked you.
You know what? You'll know which guys are the real deal to follow and which guys you put on the pay no mind list, even if they're the boss, right? You had certain bosses, right, Rookie? Like, I know that guy ain't going to be there if shit goes wrong, right? So
right. Yep. Everybody has them. It's just a fact of life. Yep.
All right. So let's really go over to when you got on the squad company, because I'm not understanding. You worked at Busy Squad Company as a pipe man for 6 years, so before you got promoted. So give us what's the squad company?
We're a little bit different. Actually, we're a lot different from the way you guys do it, and it kind of brings up a little bit of discussion from now and then. But to get on the squad, it's a bid position. So if somebody retires or moves, it's a seniority thing. It's not like you guys have to do it where you have to build a resume, go knock on a door, and
kiss the ring.
Go that route. And I get that. And a bunch of us get that. Being that we're such a small department, I don't know if that'll ever change. Because you want to have that's a specialized unit, or should be, where that guy should be, proficient at, all the special ops, secret squirrel stuff. So I ended up getting over there.
Secret squirrel.
I got to confess, I am very good at putting fires out and cutting holes in roof. But that special squirrel, secret squirrel stuff, I really, I struggle with that. And there's probably a lot of people saying, Skull probably shouldn't have been there. But guess what? During my time period there, I only ended up doing a couple, what I call special operations style rescues. And it was like airbag stuff, easy stuff. I'm not the guy that's going to hang off a high rise on a rope. I really struggle with that. But like on my trench and, confined space and stuff, I'm solid with. But there's a lot of guys on the job that I work with that are shining stars when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I think sometimes you have to, recognize that. And, sometimes you got to reel it in. You know what? Maybe I'm not the greatest dude in the world. So, but, some people have a hard time with that. But, yeah, I know I've struggled with that. But it is what it is. But, yeah, it was a good time there. I got lucky. I got to get to the squad. It's a coveted spot. The squad has the huge response area. And a lot of our fires are in the squad's first due. And while I was there, I was very fortunate to go to a lot of good first due fires there. So it was a good 6 years. I probably would still be there to this day on that spot. But my wife had talked me into taking the test and, promoting, knowing that I'm, very close to retiring. But yeah, it's a great place to be.
We didn't even talk about that. Your wife was on the job at the same time as you, right? She was there before.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. She got hired at a very young age. She was 21. She was really lucky to get hired. She did 28 years on the job. And,
firefighter the whole time, or she got promoted, Jeff?
No, she was a fireman, a backseat pikeman, and then rode the front seat on a wagon for a short time period when I worked with her. And there's some good stories there because we used to yell at each other a lot. Nasty fights.
You can't even make that. You can't even make that shit up.
A lot of that. But she's tough as nails. And I know a lot of dudes don't have a lot of good things to say about women, but my wife, Constance, can take the heat. Her body is scarred up. Her leg looks like a shark bit her from burns. Her shoulders are burnt. She's not the fastest person in the world, but once she's in that burning building, she's not quitting. Wow. Good reputation with that. But yeah, she always rode the back seat. And then I come over the shift and she moved to the front seat so I could be the pipe man. And then when my old chauffeur retired, she bid the driving job. So we worked together. I rode in the back and she drove. So we got in some pretty good screaming matches. And I would like, Connie, you spent 28 freaking years here. How do you not know where you're going? She was I rode in the back seat for, 26. He had no clue where she was going. And it was killing me because, some of my stuff was first due and I'd be missing it because she was one day I'm looking out the window and I'm not even in the city. I'm looking out the window. I'm like, where are you going? Karen. One day she threw the parking brake on and yelled back, do you want to drive? And we had a young kid up front and his guy's going, he's just sitting there looking forward. But a lot of screaming matches with Connie. I'm like, where in the fuck are you going?
And you stayed married all that time too.
Yeah.
That's a match made up in heaven right there.
That's tough to do. Yeah. I don't think I could do anything.
She did the old parent to the kid thing. Do you want to drive? I'm like, I just no. Oh my God, yeah, funny shit.
One more super chat here from Lighter Up. Do you remember Tom Lighter? Now works for the Academy in Lewistown.
Oh, that's not ringing a bell, but I'm sorry if I don't. It's just old age.
All right, there you go. Oh wait, here's another one. Hot off the presses. He says, "Skull. Do you have any? Do you have any plans to take the captain's test, or are you content with riding out the LT position until you retire? Glad to see you on here too. Love hearing your stories from FDLS 59."
Now, I'm really happy where I'm at. I'm on Tower 1. It's a great spot. We go into the suburbs now. It's a small city, so the suburbs are all surrounded by volunteers, and we all know the plight of the volunteers. It sucks. There's just the guys aren't doing it anymore, and I get it. It's a lot of devotion, a lot of training, and they're struggling. So we're going outside the city now. So where I'm at, it's a good spot. I'm catching a ton of fire, and that's a good place to go. Sometimes I kick myself in the butt. I think I would have loved to have been a battalion one day, but it is what it is.
You're meant to be in that rig, bro. Battalion.
Yeah. I just, it is what it is.
Still teaching
I'll
the guys.
ride out my days on the tower ladder. And
how many years you got left, Skull?
I got about a year and a half, unless our contract's coming up here in the end of the year. So if it sucks, if I'm going to lose, benefits, I'll bail. If it's a good contract, I'll stay to my anniversary date and get that extra pension bump. But it's been a good ride. It's been a great ride, and you know
what I'm saying, Roofy. Everybody's asking us to go to that Allison party, right?
You got to go to the hook.
The hot dog. I forget
the
that.
sausage party.
Sausage fest.
Sausage fest.
Holy Christ!
Let's do a ride along with the Skull, bro. That's what I'm saying.
You will have an absolute blast. Yep, you'll have an absolute blast. Yep. Sun's 30.
There you go.
What do you think, bro? That's what I'm saying. You got the party. We do a ride along on Tower 1.
Did you see the last time Pete tried to hang on to the rig and
Did I say Pete? I said me and you
and the
Skull and a GoPro camera.
I have one now. Don't threaten me with a GoPro.
They're asking what your plans for retirement are.
Hunting, baby.
Hunting.
I know.
Yep. I'm like Jeff. Lou. I'm a hunter.
You like to kill defenseless animals too. All right, thank you.
I'm a killer. I like to kill things and mount them on my wall.
That's what I do. And eat them. And don't let troops fool you with that defenseless animals.
I'll probably grow some old, ugly Grizzly Adams looking beard. Yeah, make me even look older.
They never gave you a hard time about your mustache?
No, they're pretty cool with that. No, there's no mustache police here, so.
Oh, man. Boy. You didn't have a deputy chief brother chasing you around getting your mustache.
No, we're cool with that.
A lot of guys want to know about the lids behind you. A couple of things popped up. Those are your wife's, you said, right?
Yeah. I'm not a collector at all, and those High Eagle helmets are from all over the place, and those are hers, and all the trinkets. I mean, we got fire shit everywhere. But I'm not into that. I save.
Love it.
I saved my helmets. I got a bunch of leather helmets that I've retired over the years, and that's really the only thing.
Well, you have them the ashes in a cup somewhere. Is that what you got?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pete, show some of his helmets, bro. Show some of
something too. I like to put out for some of these young kids. My first leather helmet I bought in late '70s was $55.
Oh boy!
The Bork eye shields were $12.50, and the front piece was $12.50. So look what the kids are paying right now for a leather fire.
God, forget it.
Well, check that out. Jesus Christ. Yeah. A little salt, maybe?
Yeah, what's up with them spectacles you got on there? What
I like them, bro.
Yeah, those are birth control glasses.
Because no one will ever think of you when you're wearing them.
You will never get laid by wearing those.
even if you pull a burning woman out of a building, man.
You are done, baby.
You're my hero. What the hell is on your
Wait a minute. No, you're not. So, okay, 2 more questions coming from the super chats. I got to ask. Noah Quattro's asking, how do you as a company officer keep your crew motivated to perform 100%?
Wow, good question. And it gets tougher as time goes on with the lack of fires. We try to do, company drills or just sitting around the kitchen table talking about jobs. But yeah, it's a very tough thing, and it's getting tougher. I would think for people all over the United States with fire activity, dropping as it is. It's just, man, trying to keep people motivated and excited about the job. It's really tough. And I don't know what the answer is. You can go and train with the forcible entry door every day. Pretty soon you're getting the shits of that, or you're getting the shits of stretching lines and vacants. And
you can only do that so much. I mean,
it is very tough to keep guys motivated, but I mean, we all know that. I mean, man, you go a couple weeks without catching a fire, these guys are ready to strangle each other.
Yeah, no doubt.
Boy, I'll tell you what, nothing gets the brothers back together. You catch a good job, man. Yeah, everybody's
kumbaya, man, right? Kumbaya.
Maybe you need to find some triptychlorate around the firehouse, and
You go a couple weeks without a fire, everybody's ready to strangle each other.
Yeah, no.
It is that way every fire department.
No, every place, man.
In the freaking United States. So,
yeah.
Also, another question, last one, I think here is Tell. I don't know what this is coming from a guy named Whackman, so take it with a grain of salt. Answer or don't answer. Tell about when Brian held back at a basement fire in Lower SWAT. I don't know what the hell that is.
Man, I don't know. Yeah,
all right,
I can't type.
Moving on.
Yeah, I don't know which fire he's talking about, but
one more quickly here from Kyle, who's going wild tonight. Huntington Regional Fire and Rescue has gun raffle tickets to help you with your retirement plan. Look on Facebook.
I'll take him up on that because I do like guns.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, look at Petey.
Oh, now Pete just got a boner. Oh, Pete just got a boner. You ever slide the 14 into the 17?
You know, these guys are ball busters, but they don't know the beauty of a SIG P320 compact.
Just like me.
I mean?
There's a rumor going around that John, too, might have a gun or two now.
Yeah, Johnny in South Carolina.
I think he's in the Spartansburg area right now, but I think he buys a gun every retirement check.
Good for him.
Nice.
Good brother, though. I miss him.
I'm running out of wall space, Jeff. I'm running out of wall space, man.
Yeah.
That's great,
Keep
man.
killing him.
Nice. Where we at, boys? Where we at?
I had a question for him. Are you going to be? So we'll get to hook up with you down. We go down to Harrisburg for the convention, or what?
You bet. Yeah.
Oh,
You guys show for the Allison. Yeah.
No, we ain't going to that. We want to hang out with you.
I sent?
Yeah, the Allison Hook and Ladder. It's on social media, on Facebook. You know, guys follow it. It's a good place to hang out. Like I said, Christ, we have parties there. Hell, there's 25, 30 FDNY. Legendary guys from the job. Battalions. Squad guys, rescue guys. It's a neat place where there's no attitudes and guys just love to talk shop. And from DC. New York, you name it, up and down the East Coast. Dude.
Maybe we have to try it again, Ruffy. We tried it that first year. Maybe we'll do it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Hey, do you have that picture
on
that
social media? Yep, it's a great place.
I just sent you a picture
just
on an email. Take a peek. I'm
10
sorry. I should have told you that.
Yeah, no problem, brother. I'm gonna find it. Just give me a moment. Oh shit! Yeah, I got it. Hang tight.
Somebody just sent this to me. So a little birdie, Jeff. A little birdie.
Oh yeah, I'm getting effed with.
This is something. This is like some Sons of Anarchy shit. Jesus Christ! What do we got here? Look at this.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Describe this for the for the audio listeners. My word.
Yeah. Well, for years and years, I ran chopper Harleys. Rigid frames.
Yep.
Spend like $30,000 on a bike. Get the shits of it and sell it for $8,000. That was stupid shit I should have never done in my life.
Hey, I hear you.
I did a lot of that.
Buy high, sell low.
Yeah. So,
what kind of bikes? Like, were you into the old ones or were you into like the newer ones?
Everything. I had, shovel heads, to the newer modern, Harley motors, custom chrome motors and, but anyhow, so I just kind of incorporated the fire theme with an outlaw biker style tattoo and had that done several years ago. So
is that all covered up with hair now? You got that hairy gorilla back going on?
I got every now and then I get the wife to get the head trimmers out.
Get the weed whacker out.
Yeah, it's like cutting a sheep. So
dude, you are bleeding Harrisburg, brother. Nice.
Good.
I'm into it 100%, as you can tell.
I can't wait to come meet you, man. I really can't. It's gonna be fun.
It's
going to be a sad day to it's going to be a sad day to leave.
No doubt.
No doubt about it.
I don't know how you guys were, but I've had guys saying, "Oh yeah, I'm ready to go," and I've had enough. And I said, "You'll be crying like a baby." Oh, it won't be me. And everyone that's left cried like a baby, and I had to hide because I was crying. Because I was watching a guy that was a 30, 40-year friend leaving and watching that guy cry. I would leave. I'd have to go hide in a bunk room and tears.
Missed enough.
Man.
Yeah. Where'd Skull go? I don't know. I just saw him running off crying.
He's crying like a baby. And I know for a fact that last day I'll be in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt, man.
I'll be crying like a freaking baby.
Jeff, I tell you, man, we've gotten lucky because we've been able to do this. And it keeps us so close to it, right? Talking about it all the time. We're constantly talking to guys, obviously, with the show. And even on days we're not on, it's just getting guests and talking to guys and trying to convince them to come on. A lot of these old timers, No,
they don't want to do it.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, I keep telling them, man, when you go, that's it. Your stories go with you, so it's.
We had a similar thing. We had an old city volunteer member that was there forever. And, we just kept saying, come on, man, let's do an interview. Cause we kind of do a little thing. My battalion chief that has the Allison, he'll do a little similar to what we're doing here with the Harrisburg guys. And he goes, no, he said, I love to tell my story between you guys, but I'm not into that,
You'll feel your
days, the world. And it's a shame because he just passed. And all those stories,
they're gone.
You got to get the stories down.
You will never know them.
Well, before we get to the old school tip, one more super chat just came in. They're asking if you know Denny Harry from Progress Alpha. Dennis Harris.
Harris.
Yeah. Sorry. Dennis Harris. My bad. I'm sorry.
I think he's back up in
I am confusion. Sorry.
State College right now, but I mentioned the Progress Fire Company. They're a volunteer outfit right outside the city limits. They're kind of a unique place where they've had a live-in program for college kids, whether they were going to the community college for fire science or going to Penn State, Harrisburg, or Middletown. I'm sorry. And it's kind of a unique place where, for years, they have live-ins there, and they're a very aggressive volunteer department, really big on training, aggressiveness. And a lot of those kids that live there ended up going on to career departments throughout the East Coast and even farther. So Progress is a pretty outstanding.
Cool. Awesome.
Lute said, I'm not crying, you're crying.
You're crying.
I'm not crying, you're crying. Oh my God, that is too freaking funny, man.
Shit.
All right, so have we gone through all the pictures, or do I need to come up with another?
I think I don't know, Kev. What do you think?
You got time? I don't know.
Pictures. I think we got time. I think we got time for one more. Do you have one that you have in mind, or should I pull?
Well, if you don't have any more pictures, I got just like a couple war stories, which kind of go into some tactics that can save your life.
Okay,
so
shoot it, brother.
All right. Well, one of these is going to be, and I wrote a lot of this shit down, like I said, because I'm old, so I forget shit all the time. But I got it written down as the Abe's Tavern fire. This was in the 80s during a snowstorm. I was a city volunteer. We're going to this job. We show up, and it's a end of the row, 3-story bar on the first floor, apartments above. Had 2 Bilco-style doors on I guess that would be the Bravo side. So the career fireman that was there, the Pikeman, his name was Steve Vazer. He pulled a line off. He was going in the first Bilco doors. I was riding as a volunteer and had another volunteer. His name was Johnny Hawker from that Progress Fire Company I was telling you about. He had a hell of a reputation as a badass, and he had the pipe. I figured, okay, you're new to this. You grab the pipe. So we go to the second Bilco doors. So we open these Bilco doors, and I can't even remember if it was a tough force. I have a funny feeling they were already open. So we open these Bilco doors, and it's hell coming out of it. It's that rolling black diesel, and it's that shit where your heart goes in your throat, and we're going like, this is going to effing hurt. So Johnny has the pipe. He, turns around on the steps like we do. We go in backwards, and he disappears into the smoke. And I'm like, this son of a bitch he's kicking my ass. So now I'm like trying to be a, madman. I'm not going to have this guy whoop my ass. So I turn around and hit these steps. So I got to, I'm moving with a purpose now. Like, F you, man. I hit the steps. Here it was a beer chute. It was a sliding board. So I slide down the steps and I land on Johnny Hawker's neck, and we're yelling at each other because we're both frightened. We're not telling, we're not but we're scared to death. We're going to die in this basement. And I'm yelling, you through your mouth like, where's the pipe? And he's yelling, I don't know. And we're like, oh my God. So we both slid down a sliding board because they slid the beer cases down there. So we find the pipe, the fire goes out. I think Vazer put the fire out before he got there. And a lesson to be learned, reel it in a little bit, feel a little bit, especially for basement fires. Make sure you're not going down a sliding board
that you can't get out of.
Another near fatal mistake was we never got water in the line.
You went down with a dry line?
Right, yeah. We were just young kids and we screwed up. Yeah, stupid shit you do when you're 19 years old, 18, 19 years old. So just want to throw that out there. Sometimes, brothers, you got to reel it the hell in. But, yeah, that was a freaking moment. Let me see here. Funny. Oh, I'll do one more, and then we'll get on to some other stuff. But
all right.
This one's called the Hay Holmes Fire.
Hay Holmes.
Early morning in the Uptown district, we got 4 row houses burning. So they're burning like crazy, blah, blah, blah. We're putting fire out. Ended up falling through a floor right off the bat, and I'm young and I didn't realize, I'm hanging there and I'm screaming like a madman. And if you use your head, it's not the end of the world, because if you slide down and you do it right, you're only falling 2 feet. A lot of guys don't realize that. Don't lock your knees. And I didn't know that. I thought I'm going to fall to my death. There was no fire below me. So I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And, the guy's like, okay, you're all right, asshole. So,
all right, take it easy.
Right. Relax, kid. You're okay. It's just, you're just going to fall and, get a sprained knee. So anyhow, I'm already whooped. So I'm sitting outside. Place is getting under control. And the battalion comes up and say, we got a call right up the street. Why don't you hop on the engine? It was an old C model. Open cab, no roof, like a 64 C model Mac, classic, that, and anybody who's ever ridden in open cab rigs, you've missed out on it. You young guys have never done that. It was a joy. So anyhow, I hop on this rig. We're going to a car or a reported car fire up the street, 300-gallon booster tank on this old, war wagon. And we pull in the alley and, I grab the shoulder load, pre-connected them. Going down the alley, it's a pickup truck on cinder blocks, and it's burning like, nobody's business. And the garages that are right next to it are burning. So I'm there by myself. And the career driver's there. He's trying to make the connection to the hydrant because, I only got 300 gallons and a car and some garages off. So I'm working, putting this freaking fire out, and I keep hearing, hey, Holmes. You know how it is in the hood. Hey, Holmes. Like the 5th Hey, Holmes. I'm trying to put a freaking fire out here. I'm like, I turn around and I'm pretty pissed. Like, what? So I look behind me. This dude's on the 2nd floor of his rear porch. He opens up the rear door and fire's blowing over his head. and now I'm yelling.
Hey,
I'm like,
bring that
help! I got this freaking garages burning here, so I'm trying to put them out. And I knock that down the best I can. You're not out, and I got a house. These are row homes. If I don't do shit quick, we're going to burn the whole city down. So I'm jumping over chain link fences, grabbing line. I only pulled like a 150-foot pre-connect. So he's still laying on the porch with fire rolling over his head. I'm like, what is this? So I didn't have enough line to hit the building. So I'm bailing water in this.
Just lobbing it over him.
Oh, my God. I'm like, and then, the career guy gets on the radio. Hey, send the world. But, oh, my God. And this dude's yelling, hey, Holmes. And
hey, Holmes.
About the 5th Hey, Holmes. I was like, what the, after you won. Yeah, my joints rocking.
I really wish I had a cheat.
You're working on that pickup truck. I got fire rolling on my head, bro.
Oh, my God, yeah. But
that's freaking my face hurts.
Oh, my God. All right, man. Well, Kev.
Hold on, we have one more question for him. Hold on.
We do? We do? Shit. What's going on? Oh, wow. Ask all about his design he painted for the old on the old Engine 55, and ask him about their battle-tested, battle-proven motto.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool question. When I got out of the service, I saw it in the service, and hopefully somebody won't beat me up too bad on this, but I think it was the USS Bainbridge, and the Bainbridge has always seemed to be in the middle of everything. Yeah. Like they were in the Captain Phillips ordeal. And I remember at the time, I believe it was them had it on the back of their fantail, the ship battle tested, battle proven. And I'm like, man, that's badass. And I figured, when I get back into the fire thing, that would be a good slogan. So when I got back to my old volley house, we had a great group of guys. There was no kids there. They were all senior guys that had a ton of experience. So I kind of said, hey, man, everybody's got a motto or a patch or something. So why don't we do this battle tested, battle proven? And it kind of worked good for, quite a few years. But yeah, so that's where that came from. That came from the Navy. And like I said, I know some squids are out there. Hopefully I'm right. I'm almost sure I saw it off the Bainbridge. But yeah,
that's a cool motto though, dude. I like it.
Yeah, it is. Battle tested, battle proven.
We took that same thing. Fortune favors the brave, right?
Yeah.
We took the same thing for our slogan too, the CBs.
Yep. So that's where that came from. That came from the good old U.S. Navy. So
nice.
Oh, here we go.
Hello, matey.
Oi, oi, oi. Yep.
All right, Petey. That might be the time now.
It may not be the way. It was maybe the Wainwright. The U.S. Wainwright.
I'm glad. Yeah, somebody I knew better than
No,
everybody's going new shirt. Cool.
I just contacted the gods at Google who have all the.
There you go. Yep.
All right, so
now it's time. I think, bro.
I think it is now time for the old school tip of the day. Here you go, Jeff. Shoot it.
All right, brother. So I'm going to talk about some stuff here, and I'm not going to drag us on too long. And some of this is going to stir up a lot of controversy, and it just depends on, I guess, where in the United States you're from, whether or not I piss you off or not. But I kind of mentioned earlier about buffing fires and just sitting back and listening to what the public has to say about us. And you can learn a lot about your fire department by doing that. One of the things I'm going to bring up is running on the fire ground. When I was a kid, that was an absolute no-no. We were taught from day one not to run on the fire ground. And I don't know where that came from. But like I said, from buffing fires and nothing's more upsetting to me or to the civilians that were there to, save and protect is to watch an engine company or truck company, whoever, pull up, hit the parking brake, and then, walk up the scene like it's painful for them to go to this fire. And I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. And it took me quite a few years to, I'm a little slow, but it took me quite a few years to go like, hey, I'm doing this wrong. So I had changed that, 35 years ago. I'm like, why am I, I'm too cool to move with a purpose. So I want to keep that in the back of your mind. Don't be so freaking cool that you can't move with a purpose. You may not have to run. I run, it is what it is, but somebody's house is on fire. Somebody's loved one might be in there. I'm moving with a freaking purpose. So I'm not going to apologize for how I act at a fire to anybody. That's just the way I operate. So take it, as you will. So the next thing that I like to discuss about, I don't know, that's good English, but is masking up en route. It's something I started doing, like I said, about 35 years ago when this thing clicked in my head about, not moving with a purpose. It started in my volley house. I would do a, 15-minute ride, to whatever fire I was going to. And then I would get out and then run to get to this fire, and then only to have to sit there in the front and mask up. I'm like, why am I doing this? I started thinking about, wasting, why am I wasting all this time? People are dying. I need to move, more fluid movements and quicker. And I know this is a bad thing with a lot of old timers. And I kind of get that, but I mask up en route just before arrival. That Scott mask, especially, you got that big wide open hole. I know there's guys now putting freaking, using the air monitors and putting oh my God, you're breathing CO in and you're done.
Oh my God.
Yeah. To me, I'm throwing my mask on just prior to arrival. I get out, I run, whether I'm on the pipe or I'm in that building within seconds. And here's something else I want to think about, have you guys think about too, is we've all done it. We all done that. We get off the rig, and whether you walked or ran, we walk right to that front of that fire ground and we're sitting in the front yard or on the, I don't have yards where I work at, but we're sitting right out front. And, if you're second due or third due, you're sitting there masking up, your helmet's off. And if the brothers are up working and they're doing vent enter search or whatever, you got window glass, guys are trying to bang ladders, you're trying to stretch lines. That front of that freaking fire building is not the place to run to get dressed. So I'm throwing that out there, and we're all guilty of it. So it's something, something to think about. That's not the, stand on. If you don't want to throw your mask on, that's fine. I'm not telling you what to do. You got to do what you do in your fire department. But you may want to think about sitting in that front yard or in that front, area and putting your shit on, because you're in people's way.
Nice.
Yep. Here we out here. And I'm going to sound like a broken record, because I know all your FDNY senior guys have said the same thing, and I'm going to mirror that. Basics. This happened even to me when I got back into the fire service after leaving the Navy. I got back in my volley house, and guys are wanting to take this specialized rescue training, and everybody wants to be a Navy SEAL. That's fine, but damn it, you better learn how to put a freaking fire out. And until you learn how to stretch a line and vent enter search and cut a hole in a roof, bang ladders, you worry about that other special secret squirrel stuff later. There's a lot of people that are so wound up about doing all this specialized training stuff. Learn and master the basics before you move on to Navy SEAL shit. Guys are wanting to jump out of helos. It's like, you
repelling and all this crap. And
learn how to put a freaking fire out first, guys, before you move
moving on. Right.
Yeah, but that's it for my tips. It's just learn the basics, guys. Learn the basics first. So.
Good stuff.
Really
I think that the first tip that you have there is definitely something that people discuss a lot. I was never a walker, quote unquote walker, but I never full out sprinted. I mean, we pull up in the squad. I would be
moving with a purpose.
Yeah, we would pull in, but we would be down the block. And the last thing I wanted to do is run full speed, and then the chicks just get in there and then put my face piece on, because that would be good. Right.
I know.
We would absolutely, if you want to call it walking, slow jogging, we were walking with a purpose. There was no, taking my time and, like you said, but I would never full out run to a job just for those same reasons I just gave, which I always felt like I'm going to be in that building in 2 seconds,
Yep, I've run like a madman, so I'm a fire maniac. I want to get in and get the fire.
I want to see fire.
Right. And, I'm trying to move, with an extreme purpose. But I'm the same way, homie, especially as I'm getting older,
Well,
now I'm running, and now I get there, now I got to put a fire out. Yeah. My 50-some-year-old lungs are going.
You can't get enough air out of that mess. That's the thing. Right?
Yeah, but
listen, if you can run,
God, like I said, if you buff fires, you'll be amazed at what people are saying, and you got to really take that to heart.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you got to take that to heart. Yep.
It is always nice when you hear.
One thing to that, though. Always, even if you're running or moving with a purpose, always remember to do the size up as you're walking up on the building or moving quickly to the building. Don't let
better believe it.
Yep.
What did they used to say that? I'm running to my death. If you've probably heard that before.
Yeah. Don't run to your death.
Take your time and size up the building, because you could be running to your death.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what you're looking.
I see a lot of guys now. I think they do. When I was getting out, I would see guys with their face piece on without the regulator, standing around like ready to go. Which I don't know if that's what they're teaching now, but it seems like all the guys that get on are doing that. We weren't.
Yeah,
we never did that.
I don't know if they're teaching that or not, but it's something like I said, I changed 35 years ago. Like, why am I just sitting? I just took a fire truck ride, and now I got to do all this shit. While I was sitting in a fire truck, why wasn't I like, especially with the Scott pack, you got that big, open hole. So if I throw that on, that's just another step out of the equation.
Right.
I can make sure my hood's on, my ear flaps, my chin's, my shit squared away. I don't have to do that in the front yard. It's just I'm throwing that out there for food of thought. it works for us. I mean, it works for me. And I know at Harrisburg, probably 99% of the guys do that.
Yeah.
And
it's definitely guys were doing that. More and more guys are doing it.
It pays dividends. I mean, you're in that building in seconds. Like I said, Coop's is saying, you don't run your death. You do your size up, but man, you got somebody laying on the deck dying. Man, I'm doing every freaking thing I can to get them poor people out of it.
You would hope that they are, right? You hope if you're the guy laying there, people are moving their ass to get to me.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. Seriously.
Great job, Mr. Skull.
Well, thank you. Hold on.
This guy.
I like it.
Beautiful.
Very cool.
All right, let's get to the part that we've kind of, it's not a fun part of the show, but like we said at the beginning of the show, it's been a very tough couple of weeks here for the first responders. So I'm going to start off. We're going to start off with the line of duty guys. We had a Chief Kremer from Fostis, Missouri, line of duty death. Now, this wasn't a line of duty, but I figured he deserves it. Dennis Smith passed away this weekend. I know it wasn't a line of death, but he definitely deserves for what he put into the fire service.
Better believe it.
Yep. And Pete, you got a couple too as well?
Well, yes. As we said, first responders. So not just our brothers in red, but the brothers in blue. NYPD officer Jason Rivera, who was ambushed, shot, and killed in Harlem. God rest your soul, sir. Also, NYPD officer Wilbert Mora, who is currently fighting for his life in grave condition, listed in grave condition. So please, God, allow this man to stay with us.
He's in bad
that's what we got.
And Ruffy.
And then in Baltimore today, Baltimore City, we had Lieutenant Paul Buttram, firefighter Kelsey Sadler, and firefighter Kenneth Laseo. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. I apologize. But and then we have one other firefighter fighting. I don't know if it's a female or if it's a male, but fighting for their lives. So
yeah, so those are the line of duties. Yes, 3 line of duties there. So we're going to give the 5 rings for the line of duties.
Tough day.
So, brother, take it slow. We also have one more mention. This youngster, very young guy, from what Skull is telling me, Sean Menier from Middletown, PA. He's banged up. They said that what chimney fell on him, Skull. So,
they had a building collapse at a single standalone civilian fatal fire. He was a civilian was found dead on the first floor. The second floor collapsed and the chimney. I guess about 3 or 4 brothers got trapped. And unfortunately, he was trapped by the chimney that fell into the building. It took him about 30 minutes to get him out. We don't know his status. Quite obviously, his burns. So he's in a burn center right now. And we can send prayers all month.
Young kid, right? You said 20.
Yeah, very young kid from what I'm being told. Absolutely sad. Yep.
I'm getting from the chat also right now that the Wilbert Mora will be a line of duties death soon as they're donating his organs. So I think we're going to lose him.
And the other firefighter is John McMaster, is in the hospital from 14 Engine in Baltimore. So that's the other firefighter.
All righty. Say your prayers. We will keep them in our prayers. Yep. All right, Petey. What else do you got? Anything else?
On a lighter note, I actually wanted to take a moment. I've definitely shouted you out before, Kev, but I wanted to take a moment tonight to shout out Lou. I know he may not even like that, but you guys don't see all the work that goes on behind the scenes here. Kev's definitely our idea man. He has so much going on, but Lou's in constant contact with all of our guests, dealing with back end stuff on the site, YouTube, everything. And I just wanted to really recognize Lou for all his efforts on the show as well. It takes a lot of effort to put this whole thing together. So Lou, thank you so much for everything you do, brother. You're a good man.
And if you have any questions, make sure you email them to Lou. He loves to handle that stuff.
Lou's decided to take on more questions than ever before. So he said 2022 is my question year.
I think you did say that.
I do love when in that fan page or something. Every time something comes up and somebody asks like a weird question, it's so like 10 guys say, email Lou, see what he has to say. Like,
they're trying to get the new guys. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
All right, a couple of days here. Florida, get in touch with Jose Martinez. I don't know if his spots are still open, but like we said, there's only a certain amount. Reach out to Jose and reserve your spot for our Florida St. Patty's Day trip. We will be there. It'll be a good time. Lieutenant, we're going to have another segment, a 4-part series, starting with the first one with Lieutenant Sarno. It's never been seen before war years footage that he shot with his father when he was a kid.
Incredible stuff, man.
Incredible stuff that my man Peter's digitized and put some better music behind.
I already slapped the first one together, guys, but we're just waiting on.
We're going to get a Monday night with Lieutenant Sarno. He's going to tell us how it came about, how he used to go out with his dad. And then subsequently, we'll have 3 more episodes of four. Oh, 4 more?
Yeah, because that night we're going to just look at one quick little clip just to get everyone's whistle wet. And then I'll have 4.
I like whistling wet. All right.
Yeah, I'll have 4 episodes for you guys.
All right. I have one more. What else do I have? My apologies to Irene Fitzke, who did actually hit me up in an instant message. I was doing my cardio with no glasses on, and I said, "Thank you, sir." And she says, "No problem, but I'm a ma'am." I said, "All right, sorry, I can't see. I'm sitting on a bike pedaling, so my apologies." And that's all I got.
All right, Jeff, hang with us. We're just going to close out, and then
Jeff, great job, man. Great.
Really,
hey, before we go, can I say one more thing?
You can say as many things as you'd like.
This is out to the FDNY brothers. After 9/11, Harrisburg being, relatively close to the city, we had done like a lot of fire departments had done, and which should have been done, is making those trips up to the multiple funerals. And it was something to stand in line with brothers from all over the world. I mean, in one area we never really throw any shout out to is our Canadian brothers. I was really surprised how many brothers showed up at the Canada, and it seems like we kind of miss out on our northern brothers. But I just want to throw this out before we roll out. And I know people are still struggling with us to this day, but I don't know how many I went to, and it wasn't a whole lot. Maybe 6, 7, or 8 at the most. And, going back to the fire stations in Harrisburg, we'd get back at 3 a.m. and then have to work the next day. And emotionally, we all sat around like, Jesus Christ, man, we've only done 7 or 8 of these, and I'm shot. I'm just absolutely, without swearing, I'm beat down. And I just wanted to throw that out for you guys. I know a lot of FDNY guys are listening, but I don't know how you guys did it. We don't know how you guys made it through that. And I just want to, it's been how many years now? I just want to, give a shout out, all our love to you guys. And I don't know, like I said, to this day, I don't know how you got through all that. I know it was tough, but I feel like kind of a coward because I only did a few of them, and I was shot. I was freaking shot.
A lot of drinking.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know what it is too? Yeah. It was from support from guys like you and the rest of the guys in the chat, and the rest of the brotherhood from all over the world came to help us out.
I still remember. I think it was like the 3rd day. If I remember how many guys were on the pile, like with buckets, like it was ridiculous. Like it was
from
just
everywhere,
lines and lines and lines. This was before the FEMA stuff and all that other stuff, and just guys that drove up, right? Drove up.
Yeah.
Oh, even on our side of it too, PA Task Force 1, the FEMA team, I believe they were the first to arrive at Ground Zero. And I remember some of our senior men who were on that team were, a lot of guys in the FDNY were unaware of, and they were kind of like suspect. They didn't know about the FEMA teams. And, some of our bosses were going up, hey, I'm from PA Task Force 1, and we're here to, some of the battalions or whoever. And like guys were like, who the F are you? And a lot of those guys didn't know about the teams back end. And I remember our guys coming back. Yeah, it was something because they didn't know that what we were, and they were, are you guys like FBI agents? Or they didn't know. Now everybody knows about that.
Everybody knows about that. But I do remember those guys showing up with the duty uniforms, right? The little
those were the secret squirrel guys.
Yeah, the secret squirrel guy.
Oh yeah, secret squirrle guys.
I've never done this before.
But I guess I just want to throw that out because it just it's still so hard on me to this day. Just I don't know how the hell you guys
appreciate that, Jeff. Guys like you, that's how we did. Yeah. Oh, I got one more thing on my Pete. Hold on, Pete. I'm putting together a show on the history of the squads, collaborating with none other than my buddy Chief Kleehouse, who's sending me a whole lot of stuff, going down to the Rock, to the archives, and it's going to be a good show. I hit the history of the squads coming soon.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right.
That's all I got.
Wrap it up, kid.
All right. We'll make it quick for everybody tonight. Guys, listen to us as well as watch us. Listen to us on iTunes Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever fine audio podcasts are found. But if you're here at youtube.com/Gettin Salty Experience, take your nasty
filthy booger hook.
Big filthy booger hook off the bang switch and hit that
like button. Will you hit the like button?
Hit the subscribe button and share this shit. Like, subscribe, and share it out there. Guys, my number one goal is to get every firefighter in America listening to this. And if it grows from there, even better. But guys, that's my lofty goal. Let's make it happen. All right. If you're on Instagram,
I thought it was not to run the other way when you see a fire, but I couldn't
No, I'm still not running to a fire, bro. That's your job. I'll run into the line of fire, but no fire. All right. Salty Dog Inc., guys, on Instagram. That is where you will find us. All right. If you want to see some awesome fire photos, salty stuff, Mr. Refrano, that's one of his many things that he does, and he does quite well. Also, guys, gettingsaltyapparel.com. That's another way we pay the bills around here. If you like the finest, coolest, freshest firefighter apparel and accessories in the game, go over to gettingsaltyapparel.com. Get your firefighter friend or family something that they'll love. Maybe one of our wonderful little lighters where the fire's blowing out the third floor window. I don't know. Maybe a cool t-shirt. It's up to you. Go check us out there. Thanks to everybody who hit us up in the super chat. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. You guys are our sponsors and our syndicators, and we won't forget that. Guys, Facebook, okay, Getting Salty fans page. My God, it's a mess in there, and it's so awesome, and we love it. So go to the Getting Salty fans page and subscribe. You guys get to link up with a community of people of like-minded individuals. You will not be disappointed. Email Lou all of your questions, and I mean all of them. Lou, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Lou, tell me everything about what it was like on Livonia. All right,
he especially likes when you tell him who you think should be on the show. He loves it.
That's if you could ask Lou anything, I got a real salty guy from such and such. He loves.
No, I like when they lead this. I know I'm not supposed to ask you this, but I should tell you this guy should be on the show.
This guy's good. And it's at Getting Salty Experience, Getting Salty Experience at gmail.com, guys. And also, Cup of Joe and Fuego. That's our news and views show. Email us your fire photos, helmet cam footage, your hot old ladies, your what else? Mustaches, tattoos, rigs, tables, firehouses, all at Coob's Podcast.
Hold on.
Live Cup of Joe, Coob's Podcast at gmail.com. And that, gentlemen, is all the news that's fit.
I did get a new Hot Wives picture. I'll share it with you fellas later.
Jeff, great job, brother.
Jeff, thank you so much.
Show.
Really great career, Jeff.
Nice to meet you.
It comes loud and clear through that you are a firehound.
Keep working for a living, that's for sure.
That's it. When you love what you do,
you never work a day in your life.
That's right.
All right, fellas. Listen, we will be at the Long Island show. I saw somebody ask. We'll be at all the shows: Harrisburg, Long Island, the New England show, Indy, Monroeville. We'll be at them all. Yeah. All right, guys. Stay low and go.
All right, everybody. We'll see you at the big one.
Cheers, everybody.